single new build, every single one I do, they can never get the rafters connected to the ridge.
That should be sealed better. And we have a shower head leak. No air filter. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Today, we're going to be talking about something very near and dear to my heart, something that I have a personal experience with, and that is poorly constructed new homes. If you're someone that has purchased a new home anytime post-COVID, you will probably have experienced some sort of issue with your new home. It is quite a common experience, and it just goes to show as we progress and things just get crazy more expensive, unfortunately, the quality seems to be diminishing as well. And I wasn't really aware just how bad some of these things have been, but there's many examples of really poorly built homes, even here in my state of Texas. Now, this first guy is probably one of my favorite creators. I've just watched his videos just for fun for a long time. And that's this guy named Inspector Randall.
Every single new build, every single one I do, they can never get the rafters connected to the ridge. Missing the counter flashing in the garage, and no GFCI protection, even though it says it's protected.
That should be sealed better. And we have a shower head leak.
This door is supposed to be self-closing with a self-closing hinge, and there's not one in place. No air filter.
Very interesting because these homes are built in one of the most densely populated areas that are growing here in Texas. And it is fascinating because every single one of this guy's videos is just showing all this nonsense happening. This idea of the American dream is, or for one, have a family, buy a home, be self-sufficient, have a piece of land, and then your land and house appreciates, and then perhaps one day you pay off the loan, and then you have no mortgage, but you have all this equity and all this cash built into your home that you can use. All that sounds great, and I'm a firm believer personally in home ownership, but it's just really just unfortunate that we've entered into this place where the product of these new homes have become so poorly executed. A lot of it is, these home builders are under a lot of pressure to get these homes up as quickly as possible. And so their teams, these subcontractors, are instructed just to throw these homes up. And that is very clear when you just look at some of the things that were in this house in particular. And again, that is the case for many new home communities all throughout my area, and I know throughout the country as well. It's not just an individual builder problem, it is very much a nationwide builder issue. And of course, there's exceptions, but a lot of things are just not being put up right. And guarantee you, when this homeowner is going to go to the builder and ask for these things to be repaired, it's going to take weeks, if not months, for that to happen. A good comment on this video was, expensive doesn't always mean quality. Another one is, and this is a very good point, that's how they can build 2 houses a week. When I'm driving through my neighborhood, that's something that I'm constantly in awe of. Is just, I look at a section of my neighborhood, and then a month later, from foundation being poured, all the bones are put up to the house. You have drywall already up. It's just in an instant, the house is 80% done. That is an issue. And now this is where we get to a place where buying a new home could be dangerous to your health. And I know that sounds very ominous and scary, but it is true. Let's take a look.
When we went to check on our new construction home build this weekend, we found a massive section of wet subfloor. None of the roof trusses were wet, so we couldn't figure out how the water had gotten in. Turns out someone had left the top half of the window open during a rainstorm, We got everything locked up and hopefully the floor will dry out, but we are doing a mold inspection this Friday for exactly this type of reason. The roof trusses for our house were delivered back in August, and then we got stuck in permitting purgatory for 4 months, and they sat on the property in the elements. That's not uncommon, but there are a few sections of the trusses that look a little concerning. And instead of burning the whole house down and walking away, we're just going to do an extra mold inspection at this point. So before insulation and drywall go up, we're going to have all this checked to make sure that it's benign, and if it's not, we'll take care of it now instead of having to take care of it later once all the walls have gone on. Again, this isn't an uncommon thing, and you can do multiple mold inspections if that's something you're concerned about.
This is a great point, and I do want to talk about this specifically. Throughout the building process, I would highly encourage you, if you are someone that is just going to ignore all the content out there that shows just how poorly these homes are made, which again, I don't necessarily think that you should just completely write off buying a new home. It is something that you should have your hand in though, or what these people have done, checking in on the home. I'd recommend you do that often. As soon as, all the bones go up and you're starting to get ready to put up drywall, you should have an inspection done at that point in time. If your builder pushes back on that, you need to push back, because this is when things can go wrong and cannot be fixed without serious demolition being done. And even when someone just leaves a window open and a storm comes, that can cause problems with mold that just go unchecked. And then years later, you have a mold issue and then you're becoming sick, which unfortunately is the case with this next video.
So, about a year and a half ago, I bought a brand new house. It's like a dream home for me,
Already I feel terrible just watching this. It's just, I feel so awful because I know where this is going.
And little did I know how it would ruin my life. This is not normally how I look or sound. I have been poisoned by my house. My story is so crazy, everything I've experienced with this new build. But if I could share something with you, is that watch the process of your new build.
What I tell you, you gotta watch the process. It'll make a difference.
And check your AC by your AC guy, not theirs. My house has mold in it. I am so sick here. I'm stuck in this house. I have almost a 9% interest rate.
Yeah, we're not even going to talk about the interest rate, because again, that in and of itself, 9%, I'm not sure how it's 9%. This video was put out in 2024, but I do not remember interest rates being 9%. It might be some sort of predatory loan situation. Either way, it's just not a good situation. But I digress.
And $3,000 of my mortgage goes to interest every month. My house, they forgot to put the vapor wrap or barrier wrap in it. My AC was installed wrong. Oversized unit with exposed holes everywhere. My whole house was built with moldy lumber. Every night I sleep on my couch. This is my couches. I'm sick of it. I can't sleep in any of the rooms because I can't breathe. My throat hurts every day. I have the most insane symptoms every day from the mold exposure. I find myself getting off the couch to go outside to get fresh air because I can't breathe the air in here anymore. I get to a point where I can't handle it. I would have never thought this would be me. It could be anybody. It's actually really common with a lot of these new builds. They just throw them up so quick and they do such a crappy job installing the AC. I mean, you're doomed if your AC is oversized for your space because mold will start to grow in your house. Needless to say, through this whole horrible experience, the builders have tried to cover it all up, remediating and covering it up. We found the mold again today, and I'm suing my builders.
Well, that's one way to do it. I'm not a particular. Oh my goodness. Well, that's one way to do it. I'm not a particularly litigious person myself. If I find myself in the situation, though, I may reconsider that just because of the practices of the builder just being so shady. Again, this is not an uncommon thing. If you go onto these builders' Google or Yelp pages, you'll find so many reviews of things just not being done the right way. And then when you try and get it fixed, they give you such a hard time about it. I myself actually had an issue with my AC. My wife and I bought our home in 21, and less than a year later, our AC unit went out because it was not properly installed. And that goes into, during 2020, manufacturing. There were so many issues with manufacturing, so many things that were, made so poorly because back orders on specific parts. And I know that's an issue for a lot of people. And like you said, if your AC is not properly installed, if it's oversized, you're gonna get into a bad situation with mold. And another thing just to share with my new construction home, a little less than 2 years into our house, we've had multiple things fail. The solenoid in our irrigation system failed, so our lawn wasn't being watered during the heat of summer, and then our lawn died, so we had to get that fixed. Thankfully, it's revived. Back outlets of our wall just one day just died. They just stopped working and we couldn't figure out why. So we had an electrician come out, and thankfully we were able to get that covered under warranty. But again, the home builder just makes it so difficult. The electrician straight up said to us it was just poorly installed. Nothing we possibly could have done to have altered it. And it's always funny. All these things, all these discoveries typically happen on Sundays. So when you go and try and get help, it's like a Sunday night and no one is there to help you. So you have to go into the next day. And that just causes a huge issue. Multiple times in our home as well, we've had the hot water go out because of our tankless water heater. That just sucks. And so the overall sentiment I want to make with this video is that right now we're just entering into a period where things are extremely overpriced and the product you're getting is just not up to the level of the price you're paying. Now, there are ways to protect yourself from this because thankfully prices are coming down. You just have to make sure that you're hiring inspectors you trust, making sure that they're finding things and just being exhaustive. So that way you can have peace of mind that, for the next 3 to 5 years, you won't have any major issues with your home, especially mold. That is really you'd wish that upon no one, that mold is in their house existing, especially black mold. So is it worth it to buy a new house in 2025? I would say right now leaning towards no, but there are many opportunities out there that I think you can get a great deal on if you just do proper due diligence. And I hope that you are that person that is proactive when it comes to these things, as you should be, because this is the largest purchase you'll make in your life, I'm assuming. Well, thank you so much for watching. Please feel free to like and comment on the video. Leave any questions, leave your stories if you had similar stories about new home construction just falling apart. I hope that's not the case, but until next time, I'll see you. Peace.